Now, this is the fly I'm going to be tying. Now, what this is basically a Claret Peter Ross, or a Claret Peter. Now, it's a Claret version of the Peter Ross, which normally would be silver at the back. It'd be a red thorax instead of claret in this case, and then a black cock hackle, or black hen hackle, sorry. The wing would be teal, whereas this is bronze mallard to suit the colour. So basically all we call it is the Claret Peter. It's a great pattern, it's a great lost style fly, it's a good river fly even for sea trout and salmon you'll catch with it. Now, the hook I'm using is, this is a Full & Mills competition heavyweight. It's a size 12. It's a heavy wire, it's a good strong wire. You could use the basically medium or all-purpose, which gives you a lighter, but for like the sea trout, or just for the heavier water, or you want it a wee bit deeper, this is the one I would use. Now, thread I'm going to be using is the uni thread in 801 black. We simply start at the head, and then we work our way down. I have waxed the thread, so there's plenty of grip. So I'm winding the thread until I get to the point, just as it starts to come round the bend. And for the tail I'm just using, now you could use a dyed red, which I've done before, or orange even. This is an actual tippet, the golden pheasant tippet feather. Now simply, tail is up to yourself really, how heavy you want it. I mean, I usually round a good half dozen fibres. So what I do is I hold the tips of the fibres, come in with the scissors and trim, and then take away the main feather itself, leaving the fibres I've cut away. Length, you're looking, some like to tie on the black area, which is fine, depending. These are good tips. I like the tips of the tail fibres, are really nice. So you're looking at least the length of the shank, round about that. So if we tie that on the top, it's quite easy, a couple of turns. Make sure the position's right. You can obviously move them around at this point. Then we're happy with that, then we can trim it the length of the body. Now the rib of the fly is to protect the body. I'm using, this is a fine gold wire. We tie it the full length of the body, with just a turn to hold it. I'm using what they call an old gold tinsel. This one here is from Male Fly Craft. Now that's a large, so what I'm going to do is catch it in, full length of the body again, and then work my way up. Now when I'm tying these in, I'm always winding forward, I'm not winding on the same area, so that I'm not building up a step, so I'm always working up. You can make up for that step, or that couple of turns by the width of the tinsel, and then we just work our way up, 2/3 of the way. The thorax of the fly is going to be claret seals fur, so we leave space for that. So we then form the body with the tinsel. Just work your way up. This point, 2 or 3 turns to secure it in. Trim away. Now I prefer to rib this part of the body first, rather than doing the thorax and ribbing it all the way up. I prefer it more like the thorax here to be a bit more open and not tied down with the wire. So we rib the gold first, around about 4 times or so. Come straight up, follow it with the wire, with the thread, sorry. Put a 90-degree bend into the wire, and that will lock it in, and make sure that's secure, nice and tight. And then we can break that away. Now the blend of seals fur I'm using, this is, you can see it there, it's obviously a claret with a wee touch more red in it. It's just got a red seals fur blended through it. Now you could use SLF, anything like that, any dubbing that you have, just lightly dubbing it on. And what I'm going to do is I want to actually get it quite loose, like, meaning I don't want it too tight, so I'll keep my fingers away and basically winding the thread through the loose sort of, well, the dubbing's quite loose anyway, so we just basically work our way through, get a shape that we like. You can be as thin or as heavy as you like on this fly, it's up to you. Now for the hackle, I'm basically going to use up, this is the top of a small hen neck that I've got. And if you look at these are very soft hen feathers that are lying the sides of the neck itself, which make great wee feathers. You can use these up. I mean, if you look at this feather, it's quite long down there, but if you further up you go, you'll get enough turns there to form a hackle. And we can use these up. I like to use them up. So we just remove what we don't need. It's all the fluff. We tie it in by the tip. So basically get our hackle pliers to locate the point of the tip of the hackle. So we just come in, get a hold. There we are. And then trim. Now it can be claret. This is basically a dark claret, or you could use black, or even brown, which is a good colour for this fly. Natural brown. So you can do different variants of it. Now we just simply pull the fibres back, and we can use the hackle pliers, or we'll use the hackle pliers so you can see what I'm doing. You can fold the hackle back, feather. You don't need a lot of turns. Just go back if it's not sitting right. Sometimes if you wind it on and then take it back, it'll sit better for you the second time. So we quick look. That'll do fine. So what I'm doing here is just basically tying it back. It's obviously broke off, but it's fine. There it's sitting, that looks okay. Now for bronze mallard, I've got two small or medium sized bronze mallard. Now I'm going to use a right and a left. So basically we've got right and a left side there. And what I'm going to do is remove the fluff on one side of it, and then bring out enough fibre to form the left or my side. So we just bring it out. I usually like to tear it away. Just sit on your desk. Get your other one. Again, we're going to remove fluff at the bottom. Pull enough out to form the wing. Just get it to sit first. You'll see the tip slightly lining up a wee bit. It's reasonably easy to tie the bronze mallard. What we do is you're going to see the underside of this. So I'm lining up the tips first. That's the underside, and the natural curve is going to be with the fly. But what I like to do is, the easiest times is just to make it easier, just to lay one on top of the other. Just show you so they're sitting like that. And then we can bring them. I'm just going to show you the different ways of putting bronze mallard on. You remember, this is a fishing fly. Once you start to cast it, it will start to, obviously the fibres will separate. What you're looking for is a proper shape in the wing. So just if you lay right and lefts on top of one another, they'll naturally curve with the fly. So we're just going to bring it in. Length of the wing, it's up to you. It could be short, as long as you like. I usually like the tips towards around about, say, the middle of the tail here, and then we simply fold these fibres on the top so there's a roof-like, and then pinch and loop. See how they're sitting. If we're not happy, we can always go back. Now, sitting a wee bit high, and there's a couple of things that cause that. Usually it's the hackle fibres in the top, or the stem of the feather. So what we do is we can go back. It's quite easy. Just make a room. Just draw this so that it sits. You want it a wee bit flatter, say. So we move it so you can see it like that. Just right and left, put the fibres down, get it back in. I always find the wing sits best the second time round. So again, 3 or 4 turns just to get them to sit. Now you don't need huge wings, just need an impression of a wing, and that's what this is giving you. If you're happy with that, then we can trim this away. We've got wax on my thread, make sure it's plenty of grip there. Now you could finish with the fly at that, or you can put, like I've got a split jungle cock eye here. This is one of the feathers, the small feathers. You're seeing the underside of the feather, so that I can, basically what I'm going to do is pull back these fibres I don't need. So there's my jungle cock eye. We're obviously going to have there's the front of the feather. You can see the good colour, which should be outside. We just offer that either side of the wing, fold it so it's in going to come down onto the side of the wing, 2 or 3 turns. This is just to position the fibre. Now you're happy with that, and you can then, what I like to do, I'll not give you the neatest head this, but it'll make sure the jungle cock never pulls out. Make sure we fold it back, we tie it back, so it's never going to pull out. It's got to break off. Now if I hold the thread tight, I can actually break off these fibres and get a neater cut. Straight in, that finish. And I'm tidying the head up at the same time. All we'll have to do now, coat of varnish onto the head, all the way around. Once this fly's had a cast or two, it'll get a nicer shape as well. And there we go. Lovely wee wet fly, good for sea trout as well as trout and lochs. Basically catch most wild fish with this type of fly, and you'll get the rainbow trout as well. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you enjoy the videos, please subscribe, and thank you for watching.